Good morning. My name is Paul Wiedefeld. I'm the chairman of the Maryland Transportation Authority Board. Today is Thursday, July 25th, 2024, and I hereby call the meeting of the MDTA Board to order at 9:01 a.m. This morning, we're having our meeting in person at MDTA headquarters in accordance with live streaming law. This meeting is being live streamed on the MDTA Board webpage. I would like to say welcome to the members and staff who are with us today. And we have two members by phone. If you could identify yourself, please.
Member Ganjemi's here. It is Member Gain.
And Member Carroll is unable to join us this morning. Thank you. As a reminder, I ask that anyone who is in the room with us this morning to refrain from speaking unless you're presenting or answering a question to avoid background noise on the live stream. I would also like to ask the members to speak loudly and clearly so that in the back of the room, so that those in the back of the room are able to hear you. Also, please say your name when motioning or seconding to help with the meeting minutes. I would like to welcome Mr. Louis Campion, President and CEO of the Maryland Motor Truckers Association. He is pre-registered to comment on the agenda item number 5, the Francis Scott Key Bridge update. I will call, Mr. Campion, I will call you up to the presenters table when it is time for your comments. Lastly, for those who are watching this meeting via the live stream, we have posted materials for today's meeting on the MDTA Board webpage, and so you can follow along if you would like. We will now begin with today's meeting agenda. Proceed to agenda item number 1. Ready to go?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Donna DeCervo.
This is
Oh, I'm sorry. First agenda item is approval of the minutes.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
this is Member Ganjemi. I move for approval.
Thank you, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I apologize. Agenda item number 2 is contract awards. Donna?
Thank you. Donna DeCervo, Director of Procurement, for the record. Good morning, everyone. This contract is KH 3020-0000, the I-95 Express Toll Lanes northbound extension, southbound Maryland 24 to Bynum Run. The work for this contract is located along I-95 JFK Highway, just north of Maryland 24, Veterans Memorial Highway, interchange at Ha Branch to Bynum Run in Harford County. The scope includes installation of 2 ETLs and 3 general purpose lanes for I-95 northbound from the end of KH 3021 and ultimately transitioning to 3 general purpose lanes at the end of the project limits. This was advertised on February 23rd of 2024. We received 4 bids. There was a 24% MBE goal and a 1.50 VSBE goal. We are recommending award to DXI Construction, Inc. in the amount of $50,913,995.70. The engineer's estimate was $50,599,317.60. This bid came in 1% above the engineer's estimate. There was no bid protest received on this contract, and DXI Construction is exceeding the MBE goal and the VSBE goal. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, please? Member Cox?
I know the company, and they are based in Harford County, and they've done, as I understand, when we had capital committee, they have done other work for the state, so I would recommend the approval.
Any other comments or questions?
This is Member Ganjemi. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank
Just
you.
to be clear, that was a contingent approval pending an approved MBE plan and
Gotcha.
signed contract. All right, the second contract is FT 3020-000R. We are asking for contingent approval for FMT underpass and low-level lighting upgrades. The work to be performed is located at the Fort McHenry Tunnel between Joe Avenue and Interstate I-95 and the I-895 interchange. The project will include upgrade to the existing underpass and low-level lighting through the corridor. We advertised this contract on February 15th of 2024. We received 6 bids. There was a 24% MBE goal and a 1% VSBE goal. We are recommending award to Aldridge Electric in the bid amount of $9,406,077.59. The engineer's estimate was $10,065,705.68. The Aldridge bid was 6% below the engineer's estimate, and there were no bid protests received on this contract. This was a rebid. The first contract solicitation failed because everyone exceeded the bid amount by a large amount, so it was put back out and specs updated and rebid. Aldridge is exceeding the MBE goal as well as the VSBE goal, and we are asking for your contingent approval again, barring an approved MBE plan and signed contract. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments? Just one, Donna, do you have a sense of what drove the 6% compared to the engineer's estimate? The 6% reduction?
I have engineering here to answer that question.
The Aldridge is 6% below the estimate.
I'm sorry?
The Aldridge is 6%, Aldridge bid is 6% below the estimate.
Below the engineer's
The
estimate.
question was what drove it?
What drove it?
Any understanding of what drove it below the 6%?
No, it's just a lot of lump sum items. I think it's a mobilization, everybody's budget friendly, so Aldridge made use of that.
So across the board, nothing specific?
It's
Okay,
balanced.
very good.
Yeah, as you can see, at least 3 of the bids were under the engineer's
Yeah,
estimate.
that's what I was just looking at, I was just wondering. Okay, thank you. All right, is there a motion?
So moved.
Commissioner Rosen, second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much,
Aye.
Donna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. The third board item is Board of Resolution 2404, Continuity of Operations. Richard?
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. For the record, my name is Richard Jaramillo, Chief Operating Officer. I'm here to seek approval for MDTA Resolution 2404, Delegated Authority of Continuity of Operations. The key takeaways here is that the COOP develops, implements, and maintains a viable continuity of operations for MDTA. Its components and supporting elements are reviewed and evaluated annually, and they're reviewed annually based on the requirements of Maryland Annotated Code Public Safety Article Title 14, Section 116. MDTA Resolution 1704 was last approved by the MDTA Board on July 27, 2017. So the resolution has been in place for a while. This resolution will be essentially removing the deputy executive director, which no longer exists within the organization, and is adding in the chief engineer into the resolution. The COOP capability ensures the MDTA can continue to execute primary mission essential functions and to comply with the statutory requirements of the Maryland State Constitution, Maryland Annotated Code, and executive orders. The MDTA COOP complies with the requirements of the Maryland Annotated Code Public Safety Article 14-116, Executive Order 11-2009-05, and guidance of the federal government. The COOP also provides the framework and concept of operations to enable the MDTA staff to continue and/or rapidly restore the organization's essential functions in the event of a disruption to normal operations. With that, I'm asking for recommendation of approval of Resolution 2404, Delegated Authority of COOP. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, Member Von Paris, I support this, and I would like to make a motion. This is a minor change, really, but a very important change, and also I think we talked about this at the Finance Committee meeting, and we also talked about maybe working to catch this earlier. I know it was started 2017. The change was made, so as we look at that too. We talked about looking at that, and so I would like to make a motion on this.
Is there a second? Yes, of course.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question? How long was it vacant? Probably approximately, I'm going to guess 6 years. It's been some time. Has not disrupted any functionality. No, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Is there a second?
This is Member Mario. Again, Jimmy, I'll second.
Second, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you, Richard.
Aye.
Agenda item number 4 is MDTA Police Public Security. Lieutenant Colonel McKenzie.
Good morning. Good morning, Chairman Wedefield and respected board members. I'm filling in for Colonel Scott today. Colonel Scott is on a well-deserved vacation for the week. He'll be back next week, back to action. So we currently have 69 sworn vacancies in the field. Class 59 started on June 12th. We had 18 MDTA members and 1 NRP recruit. Unfortunately, we are down to 13 MDTA recruits and 1 Natural Resource Police recruit. We have 1 lateral officer starting today, which is a good thing. And on the 15th of July, Colonel Scott penned 2 new cadets, bringing our cadet total to 5. So we continue to recruit, and we would ask everyone to help identify possible good candidates for our police force and send them our way. Over the last month and a half, we've been pretty busy. June 12th through June 18th, we worked with our partners at the MPA, U.S. Coast Guard, U.S. Navy, and other allies for a successful Fleet Week. On June 18th, Colonel Scott attended the Coast Guard Foundation at their 20th tribute to the Coast Guard in our nation's capital. That event formally recognized members of the Unified Command from the FSK collapse. Governor Moore was in attendance. It was a very nice ceremony. On June 24th, Colonel Scott met with our 2 pastors at the Turner Station community to further discuss our involvement in that community, especially in the wake of the Key Bridge collapse. On June 25th, Major Frank and I attended the U.S. Coast Guard Sector Maryland National Capital Region's Change of Command ceremony at Fort McHenry, where we said goodbye to Captain David O'Connell, who was relieved by Captain Patrick Burkett. Our relationship with the Coast Guard under the direction of Captain O'Connell has been outstanding, and I think that was evident during the Key Bridge collapse. Relationships are important, so we'll continue to build on that. On June 26th, we had our formal badge pinning ceremony for Colonel Scott and various other MDTA police promotees at CCBC Dundalk. The event was very well attended, including from several board members, so we always appreciate whenever you attend our events. Thank you, and hope you continue. We had no significant events or incidents over the 4th of July holiday weekend. Our officers were very busy on our roadways. They removed 19 impaired operators from our roadways. And we conducted a specific high visibility enforcement initiative at the Bay Bridge July 3rd through the 4th, where we collaborated with the Maryland State Police and the Queen Anne's County Sheriff's Office to enforce lane usage violations approaching the Bay Bridge. In addition to enforcement, our officers were able to hand out informational pamphlets, hopefully further educating the public on the various signals displayed on our overhead gantries. And then finally, last Friday, we deployed a significant amount of resources to BWI in the wake of the international IT issue that grounded a lot of flights. So I know our partners at MAA were very happy with our response, and we had no incidents during that. So it was a good opportunity. Upcoming tomorrow, the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration has asked that all 16 states along the East Coast, particularly the Interstate 95 corridor, to participate in a speed and aggressive driving initiative. So we're going to have a lot of resources on 95 tomorrow between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. for that initiative. So if you're on 95, behave yourself. And then coming up September 9th, we're excited that several of our members will be awarded various awards from the Maryland Chiefs of Police Association, to include First Sergeant Brady McCormick will be receiving the Karen Kruger Scholarship Award, and we'll have 6 officers that will be receiving the Maryland Chiefs of Police Exceptional Police Performance by Unit for their continued hard work and interdiction at BWI Airport. So very excited about that. I'd like to spend my final minutes just taking the opportunity to share the efforts of our Commercial Vehicle Safety Unit. Immediately after the FSK collapse, we focused on increased traffic in our tunnels, especially related to commercial motor vehicles. Contacts with commercial motor vehicles have drastically increased on 95 and especially 895. We've conducted high visibility enforcement initiatives with our partners from the Maryland State Police and the Maryland Comptroller's Office. Again, our relationships with both are fantastic, and we greatly appreciate their support. In addition to larger scale HVEs, our personnel also conduct smaller scale operations utilizing personnel from both the Commercial Vehicle Safety Unit and personnel throughout the agency. We continue to review and enhance our deployment of personnel, specifically as it relates to commercial motor vehicle contacts and inspections. We utilize personnel from both within the unit in a fixed and roving capacity. We utilize personnel that are assigned elsewhere. We have a number of folks that have previously had certification, so we've detailed them back from time to time to help us out in our contacts and enforcement because of their familiarity. We've also identified approximately 7 other members of the agency who are interested in getting that certification, and they're slated for a upcoming certification course through the Maryland State Police at the end of September. So we're looking forward to that. And the biggest thing that we continue to do is familiarize our officers in the field in the area of commercial motor vehicle violations. You do not have to be certified to stop a commercial motor vehicle for routine moving violations. So getting our officers more familiar on a routine basis with stopping those trucks is a force multiplier, and we'll continue to expand on that. Outside of that, our outreach, and I couldn't be happier with our commercial vehicle safety unit with the outreach. We've gone to various trucking companies and spoke to both the drivers and their safety inspectors to ensure each are adhering to the pre-trip inspections, accident procedures, and the rules of our roadways, specifically hazmat, wide loads, and overheight compliance. We continue to do that. We have several more slated. And again, if any companies would like us to come out to conduct these educational campaigns, please reach out to us, and we're more willing to do that. We continue our strong relationship with the Maryland Motor Truck Association. And outside of that, we continue to look at and try to leverage technology in our messaging. For example, we're researching the various intricacies of the GPS companies on how we can get advisements for truck restrictions. If someone puts in a route that's coming through one of our tunnels, we simply ask that a message pop up advising of various restrictions. Hopefully that will trigger them to find out what those restrictions are before they come onto our roadway. And outside of that, I'm happy with their DOC. They continue to push out various social media messaging on the various restrictions we have. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Lieutenant Colonel?
I just want to, this Member Von Paris, I really appreciate the proactive nature of what you're doing and looking forward, using technology and anything else we can to keep our roadways safe.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you.
Thank you.
I echo Member Von Paris's comments. I guess, obviously, probably some of the public do not understand the criteria on how you stop various trucks and the signals, or signage on trucks and that type of thing. I'm sure that's probably a concern to some of the public and do not understand it. Is that one of the problems?
Agreed. It is a concern. There's a lot of intricacies associated with commercial motor vehicles. There's a lot, especially when you get to the realm of hazardous materials. So our job will be to continue to try to educate through various platforms to get that message out.
Thank you, first of all, for all the effort that you're
Thank you.
putting into this. It definitely sounds like you've covered a multitude of potential ways to address this. I'm excited about the GPS messaging. I hope that is successful. I'm also wondering if there's a way to tie into that GPS messaging what the potential fines and criminal charges could be.
We got to be careful with the messaging, because if someone were to be driving and utilizing a device and seeing where they're going, if a complicated message pops up, I don't want to cause a collision because they're now distracted reading that. So there's a balance. But I hear you, and we're trying to leverage those options.
Any other questions, comments?
Mr. Chairman, if I could just do a concluding remark to that. We are looking at things outside of what the police can do for messaging through, targeting satellite radio, for instance, for long-distance truckers that aren't familiar with our areas, doing that. And then, early after the collapse of the bridge, the chairman asked us to look through and see if there's technologies that can assist the police, just because manpower is always an issue. So that's an ongoing effort. It doesn't seem like there's that immediate fix that others are using, but it's something that we will continue to look at because we want to make sure we do anything we can to make the system safer.
Lieutenant Colonel, I think this is the first time you've been in front of me anyway, at a board meeting. I just want to thank you for obviously the professionalism and the level of effort that you gave with the collapse of the bridge. As you know, you and I were there very, very early that morning, and your steadfast leadership was it was needed, and it was admired. So just wanted to thank you for that.
I appreciate that. The efforts of our police force and MDTA as a whole and MDOT as a whole, I couldn't be happier or prouder to work as a whole under that umbrella, including yourself.
I agree. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 5, Francis Scott Key Bridge update. Mr. Gardner?
Yes, so I'll handle this at a pretty high level. I think maybe it would be, since we have somebody signed up to speak, and it's probably as much related to what as the Lieutenant Colonel just addressed, I can follow if you want to have the speaker come up first with Mr. Campion, and then
Sure.
I can go through more of the procurement and environmental
Great.
updates for you all.
Mr. Campion? Good morning. Before you begin your statement, please state your name and affiliation for the record. You have 2 minutes to comment on this agenda item if you would. As a reminder, no questions will be answered during this time. Mr. Campion, the floor is yours.
Sure. For the record, Louis Campion with Maryland Motor Truck Association. Thank you, Chairman Wiedefeld. I'm also joined here by our Director of Safety, Brenda Tharp, in the audience. Brenda is retired from the Maryland State Police and a hazmat certified enforcement officer previously in her career. First, I want to acknowledge the tremendous cooperation that has occurred from all levels of government, but within the Department of Transportation and the various modal agencies since the bridge collapsed. I don't think I've ever seen such cooperation and support. I did want to come today and comment in response to the Baltimore Banner article and the insinuation that illegal hazardous materials were being transported in the tunnel, and first reaffirm that MMTA does not support the transportation of any illegal materials in the tunnel, whether that be hazmat or other size and weight restrictions, for example. Those give the entire trucking industry a black eye. There's no other way to put it. We have put out repeated reminders to our members through various publications regarding the COMAR restrictions that exist. But the Banner article, without getting into the specific details, was extremely misleading. We provided multiple pieces of information to them, spoke with them at least 2 times for several minutes, and shared information that was virtually ignored. I'm not going to go into the details of those items, but just want to be here to reaffirm our commitment to safety. We have discussed with the executive director and with MDTA law enforcement about outreach opportunities going forward. For example, we are looking at a planned webinar that we can make available not just to our own members, but also to members from our sister state trucking associations surrounding us, because we know that many of those out-of-state drivers who are traveling the 95 or 895 corridor may not be aware of all of the restrictions in the same way that local operators are. And we certainly understand and respect the need for increased enforcement that you've already heard about. We know that an incident impacts all drivers, and we want to share the road safely. Even increased penalties is an opportunity for drivers who knowingly are violating the law, who may do things like, misplacard, purposely truck, for example, or remove placards. We don't want to support those efforts. And so, again, we just want to be here to reaffirm that commitment to safety and our interest in working with you to ensure that messaging is delivered.
Thank you, Mr. Campion. And again, thank you for your continued partnership, because this is a partnership to make sure that we're moving anything through any of our tunnels in a safe manner. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Director?
Yeah, to then dive a little bit deeper into Key Bridge updates. So it has been a very big week for us in terms of progress on the Key Bridge, as you've probably seen in some of the announcements that we've sent to you and you've seen on the news. But one of the things that is ongoing is that progressive design build evaluation. So we're still looking to reward that big contract by the end of the summer. We're hopeful for Labor Day, but we will keep in touch with you about when that would be coming to the board for approval. So there's that. There's also on Friday we issued what is that general engineering contract. It's our owner's rep to help oversee the design builder. So that procurement is out on the street now. There's an effort tomorrow to anybody who wants to come to a pre-proposal conference to answer questions about that, so that's moving forward fairly quickly. And then the next contract that we'll be issuing in about 3 weeks or so is the construction management inspection RFP that will go out. And just to show that those main 3 contracts, those are the big 3 that the industry's been looking for. We're making progress on those. There's a lot of discussion, and we had it at the Board of Public Works in early July about, everybody saw the Skanska debris removal contract. With these new contracts, you're seeing those healthy, subcontracting DBE percentage goals that are in there that matches or exceeds our state average. So just wanted to reassure everything that we're doing everything we can in keeping the commitments that the Secretary and the Governor have made in terms of progress on the Key Bridge and the development. So members of our engineering staff are here for questions on that, but I wanted to move also to the announcement that came out this week about that approval from Federal Highway Administration that we can proceed with that categorical exclusion, or CE. As we've been talking to folks in the last couple days, what that really does open up, what our next steps are for the build for us. So when that Progressive Design build firm comes on board, we are prepared to do those early things that we might need to do. The removal of the existing piers of the Key Bridge is one likely thing that we'll see this fall. And the CE, just to reiterate, it was very much something that we were able to expedite with a strong partnership with the federal government. It basically said that we didn't have to go through a lot of alternative analysis of different lanes, different a bridge tunnel option, et cetera. We are replacing a bridge. It'll be on our right-of-way. It'll be built to current standards in terms of shoulder width and barrier height, as just a couple examples. So that has been a great milestone. I really have to commend the MDTA staff that worked on that with Federal Highways. It went fast because there were a lot of hours put in. This is a lot of effort. There's a lot of documentation that goes with it, and it was really appreciated by everyone, and it helps us towards that fall of 2028 date. So that is also a signal to our federal partners. The chairman has been heavily involved in the discussions on the Hill regarding the 100% funding, as is other staff from MDOT and the governor's office. So we still are hopeful for that, and it's an ongoing process. But also, we did sign the agreement with Chubb regarding insurance, so we are expecting that payment to us will be made in early August. That would be 30 days from signing the agreement, somewhere in that first, second weekend of August. So that's moving forward so that we can show that commitment to the federal government as well about those insurance proceeds being available. That basically goes to the federal government for the costs of the bridge. Finally, we are very shortly going to be submitting those invoices for the $60 million, the Skanska. So we're in the final stages of just making sure they're compliant with all the federal rules for that, and we're making progress on that. And I just want to say in that respect, our police and our engineering and our operations had that first initial, those weeks were very tremendous work for them. These last several weeks and months have been a lot of work for our procurement. Donna and her crew, Deb Sharpless in finance, working through all these types of issues that will really need to be resolved as we build the bridge in an expeditious and responsible manner. So that's my update for today on the Key Bridge. I'm available for any questions.
Any questions or comments? Thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 6, the Executive Director's Report.
Okay.
Mr. Gardner?
Thank you again. So just to start out, it's a little bit of a transition point, but so Jim Harkness is also getting a well-deserved vacation this week. He's not here today, but I just wanted to recognize him last week when we had an internal leadership roundtable. The Colonel Scott and Lieutenant Colonel McKenzie presented an award to Jim on behalf of the state police, and it's for the leadership that Jim really showed in that unified command. So it was a superintendent's salute to Jim Harkness, just to recognize all the efforts that he did. I intentionally did this while he wasn't here, because Jim's not the kind of guy that likes this kind of attention. That was evident when we did this internally. So he can watch it on, afterwards on the recording. So, but in terms of other activity over the past month, I think the Lieutenant Colonel did a great job just talking about July 4th, the activities that they've done to keep the system safe, but just to update on the traffic that we experienced over that. So the last time we had this Thursday, July 4th holiday, was 2019, and we basically saw the same level, slightly below 2019 for the traffic over the different days of the July 4th, so more than 70,000 vehicles crossed the Bay Bridge on that Thursday, and more than 536,000 vehicles crossed the Bay Bridge between July 3rd and Sunday, July 7th, also near those 2019 levels. But that highest the bridge volume that we saw during the period was July 3rd, as you can imagine, with 61,000 vehicles going over the eastbound, and that Sunday with 60,000 coming back westbound. So we did have high volumes, but as the Lieutenant Colonel said, we were fortunate, always consider ourselves fortunate, that no major incidents in that time period. So I'd like to thank Operations and Police for getting us through that. It's always a challenge with the traffic volumes that we're seeing many days of the week on the Bay Bridge. Keeping with the Bay Bridge, we have talked before about the eastbound redecking span. So as you may recall, the wind during that March time period, we were hoping, and April, it kind of slowed things down a little bit. But we've had 11 panels that have been installed as of July 21st. And you may have seen in either our social media or the press that deck panels are going to Hackett Point Reef, just south of the bridge on the western shore. And so DNR has been present for that. So it's just that beneficial process of using the bridge deck for the reef creation. Transitioning to customer experience, it is a priority at MDTA. And we are always working to enhance the customer experience. So a couple milestones. In mid-July, the Drive Easy Maryland mobile app launched. It's a new and highly anticipated feature that has the real-time roadway notification. So if you haven't downloaded the app and gotten signed up for that, it's that additional benefit to customers to see notifications of their balances, et cetera, as they move through the system. So also in early August, we'll be opening a customer service center in Easton at the MVA, so just adding another location where we can help our customers. We anticipate the official opening about August 14th, and this will be our first customer service center on the Eastern Shore. So really commend the operations staff for working closely with MVA and thank the MVA for their assistance in making that happen. In terms of other activities during July, we did have a meeting of the Bay Bridge Reconstruction Advisory Group on July 10th. I'd like to thank Richard for filling in for me while I was on vacation that week. And there was also, as usual, the reference or the attendance by the SHA. Terry Seuss was there to provide updates on their pilot projects on the eastern and western shore for ramp management, and Melissa Williams was able to provide an update on the active projects at the Bay Bridge, as well as that Bay Crossing Tier 2 NEPA study. The Bay Crossing study team is preparing for an upcoming public meetings this fall, hopefully in September, and details will be coming to you very soon on those meetings. But it's going to be a blend of information provided at both a virtual meeting option and in-person options on each side of the bridge. For members of the public who are not familiar with the project, the new information such as design and alignment of the proposed crossings will be made available. And we will issue a press release to make sure everybody knows about those when we get to that point. Important to the organization, more of an internal event, but July 16th we did hold an annual safety conference and expo. We had over 133 attendees, 5 speakers on various topics, and 16 vendors. I think it was one of our best attended events that we had, so really commend the risk management, safety, and environmental staff for putting that on. We want to emphasize that safety is our top priority. Really proud to keep that going. The governor highlighted that during the Key Bridge recovery efforts and how important it is we have to work quickly on all these things, but safety is one of those highest priorities. So we want to look ahead then to a few other items. We have, as you can imagine, been asked to speak at various events. Jim Harkness will be doing some presentation to a statewide emergency management group coming up, and actually the Senate President in Maryland asked us to talk to a group of East Coast legislators that are in Baltimore coming in the next month to talk through our disaster. I think I'll be on a panel with the Secretary of Pennsylvania as they talk about their issues. So we're learning from others, and we're trying to help educate others through our experience in this really trying time that we're going through. We also have been requested to brief legislative committees. So Joint Committee on Federal Relations is going to be, they're going to be doing a briefing in mid-August, and that we expect other committee events this fall with the General Assembly gearing up for session. So, and finally, we'll be in attendance at the Mako Summer Conference with the Secretary to interact with all our colleagues from the counties around the state. So that's my update on general topics at the Transportation Authority, and happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Thank you, sir. All right, we've now reached the closed portion of our agenda. This closed session is scheduled for the board members and designated staff. For those persons in the room and on live stream, as soon as we have completed the closed session, we will come back to this room to ratify any actions that might have been taken in closed session and to continue with the remainder of our agenda in open session. We appreciate your patience. Per the Maryland Open Meetings Act, the MDTA Board will meet in closed session under General Provisions Article Section 3-305B10 and 12 to receive an update on deployment of police staff and resources and other security measures, to discuss pending investigative proceedings involving a possible criminal conduct, and Sections 3-305B8 to receive a status update on all litigation currently pending against the MDTA. Members, there's a motion to go into closed session?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. We're now in closed session at 9:38. Member Gaines?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just make sure on the line.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Mario, are you there as well?
I'm here too.
Great. All right, very good.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, good morning. The time is now 10:10 a.m., and the board has completed its closed session. There were no actions taken in closed session that require ratification. At this point, the agenda is complete. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That complete. Thank you. That does now